I haven't had a cold or flu in like 2 decades. It's like 20 years or over 20 years. It's a long, long time since I caught a cold because, or had the flu. Because if I feel the slightest symptoms of something trying to attack my system, I immediately counteract. I fight back. I have my, and usually the messages come to me of what I should take and what I should do. Like approximately 2.5, 3 months ago, something happened to me. I believe I may have been poisoned. I had never felt that way before, but I felt as though I was dying. And it was disturbing. I asked God to take me. I said, the world, the way the world is, what people are doing in the world, this is not my world. This is not the way I know the world to be. I am a child of Source. I am of nature. My nature is the garden, the land, the sea, the rivers, the waters, the air, this beautiful land of abundance. That's my domain. And everything I need is found in there, in that rainforest, in the bush, and I moved to this place where herbs are just growing, herbs that never grew there before. And they're all herbs that I need and could use. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition called lupus. I had never heard of lupus. That was approximately 25, maybe 20 years ago. It's been a while. And when they told me you have lupus, I thought I had Lyme disease, because I had been bitten by a tick. And I knew I'd been bitten by a tick because I'd been gardening for many hours. And when I went in and showered and I was getting, lotioning my body, I saw something on my leg. It looked like ringworm, which means it's like a target. It's like a circle in a circle. And I'm like, ringworm? I have ringworm? Because ringworm, I knew from the Caribbean, children had ringworm and it was treated and everything was fine. Something told me, though, that was not ringworm. So I went and checked up and it said, this is from tick bite and you could possibly have Lyme disease. So when I got really, really sick, many years later, I got really sick. I didn't know what was wrong. And I went to the doctor. None of the doctors knew what was wrong. I went from doctor to doctor. They were sending me to this and that specialist. And it took them like 10 years to diagnose lupus. And I was like, are you sure it's lupus? Because something tells me it's Lyme disease. But here in Canada at the time, they were not testing people for Lyme disease. Meanwhile, in the U.S., my friend across in Wisconsin, she had Lyme disease. She got tested. But in Canada, we couldn't have the Lyme test. And they're insisting I have lupus. What do I know, right? Because I'm supposed to be ignorant. I'm supposed to lack knowledge. I'm supposed to know nothing. But what I do know is how to treat myself. Because I receive downloads. I receive messages from Source. You don't have my source. Your source is go to the doctor, go to the hospital, go to the clinic, go to the medical center, When I went to those places, not only did they mistreat me, they've misdiagnosed me. They've given me pharmaceuticals. They've given me pills with disastrous, nasty side effects. I've had some nasty itching for hours. Can you imagine? You were scratching your body. You are itching everywhere for hours with no relief, no matter what you do. No matter what you do, what you put, where you go, it doesn't matter. You're just scratching. I'm supposed to take these freaking meds. I think at the time it was Plaquenil. And I'm taking, which, by the way, I heard that they were treating these, their scam demonic thing that they unleashed onto the whole world because they have the means to do that. And I believe they did that because they did say they were going to. Oh, you're going to have this and you're going to have that. They keep telling us what they're doing. And these people keep supporting these demons. I call them demons because I was fine. And then I wasn't. And then they want to make me sick and then treat me. But they're giving me treatment that give me even more illness. So I have this side of it. Apart from the itching for hours, like 8 hours of itching. How can I work? How could I do anything but stay in bed and scratch myself? And then my hair fall off. I'm washing my hair. I'm showering with my hair. My hair just falling out in clumps. Big clumps of hair just falling. And there were many other side effects of this drug. I couldn't take it anymore because I did not see any improvement in the condition. Lupus, autoimmune condition. And so I really hesitated when they came with their scam demonic. I didn't want anything. I didn't want them to touch me. I don't want doctors touching me. Because doctors have no respect, no consideration. If you ask for an alternative treatment, why can't doctors be doctors and see patients who want to see them? There are people addicted to the drugs who love the doctor, who love to be. When I go, every time you go to the doctor, I have high blood pressure. Since I was a child, you mean to tell me since I'm a child, you're telling me I have high blood? So I have to say to the doctor, you are the cause. Because I seem to have high blood pressure when I see you. I believe there's a label, they have a name for this, white coat syndrome. I'm not the only one. And they're telling all the black people, you have high blood pressure. Well, why would we even not have high blood pressure living in this society? With your dictatorship, under your dictatorship. And you're not as bright as you like to have us believe you are. Oh, well, I've attended university. I have a doctor's and a master's and a this and a that and this degree and that degree. So what? I am boots on the ground. I'm not in some lab trying shit out because I'm heavily funded by this or that corrupt entity who's trying to make the whole world sick because they're so demonic. No, I am source. Demons are not source. Devils are not source. I am source. I am of and from source. So it is to source I go. Indigenous roots are mine. I saw my grandmother's father. He did not look like he came from Africa. My relatives on the island look like they are all mix of indigenous Indian, dark complected with Indian hair. Like, in India, we even have also Indian in our background from India. But we are also indigenous from the Americas, the original people who were here before Columbus and before the slaves. We were there. But because they've fabricated and they've lied so much and they've written history books, now they don't want my telling of things. They don't want my oral tradition. They want to kill me. Genocidal is their plan because they are into eugenics. They believe in their superiority. So they want us to be weakened. So they make us sickened. They make us sick. They literally make us sick. But we would already be sick just from checking out, just from fraternizing with them. Because you would be made sick by the audacity, the arrogance, the ego, all springing from their deep well of insecurity and inferiority, the complex of inferiority. They flipped the script, and now they have a complex of superiority. I'm not impressed. I said the narcotics they are just peddling to people, and people are getting addicted. There's so much homelessness and instability when you have this scam demonic, and you can't go to work. You can't go to school. You can't go here. You can't go there. You can't go to the park. The children can't go to the playground. They got to all stay in the house under lockdown, restricted, because you want to punish people. You say, there are too many people in the world. The Georgia Guidestones. It's written in granite, is it? Very costly. Who has that kind of money? There should only be 500 million people in the world. Really? Really? Only 500 million people in the world? Well, there's a hell of a lot more than 500 million people in the world right now. So, you've taken it upon yourself to kill them. You are it's a demonic thing, man. It's a sick mind, a narcissistic mind, tainted mental insanity. But hey, you want to be gods. You can't be gods. The gods were the originals. So therefore, you can't be. You can pretend to be. You can come up with AI and this and that, technology. You think that's advancement? You are putting us way back. Because long before you came to meddle, things were going along just fine. But I think you felt so inferior. You had to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. How did you do that? You got into people's countries and you started to steal. And you're still doing this today. But in addition to stealing, you're making people sick and you're killing people. My grandmother died at the age of 96 in a long-term care facility. She had dementia. And she was murdered because they decided to just, out of the blue, change her medication, her blood pressure medication, from high blood pressure medication to something that it'll lower her. It will lower her pressure. Her blood pressure was so low, she died. You killed her. It was planned. And the rest of the black people cannot see, cannot think critically. They think you're some kind of something to worship because, she's got so much money, so much money. See, I'm not impressed with money. I've never been. Because we had the land. And if you have the land, you're okay. You have everything. Especially if your land have water, a source, a river running. You're on the banks of the river. Fertile soil. Sunny climes. Island. In the bush. That's paradise. The Garden of Eden, even. But you don't want us to have our lives. Our lives. You don't want our lives to matter. You want us dead. So who the hell blew up the Georgia Guidestones? There was a bomb explosion recently. It wasn't blown to smithereens, though. It's still there. Anyway, how did I get here? The things that are going on in the world today is it satanic? Is it Luciferian agenda? And then they'll say, look into, I cannot speak as I want to because I'm always under surveillance. I'm always being listened to and watched. The thing about me is, I'm cleaner than a nun's cunt. I bet you nuns are being fucked by the priests, bishops, cardinals, or are they having sex with each other? Are they homosexuals? Because as a black woman, you told me, we're whores, right? Whores of Babylon. Black women are whores. So in your movies, and who is in charge of the entertainment industry? Making movies and TV programs. It's one group. It's one group doing all this. And how are we portrayed by this group? Look at the portrayal of African Americans and black people in general on TV. I said, that's not me. A maid? Okay, I'm a maid. I'm a servant of my family. I serve my family. I serve my mother. I serve my, brothers, my sister. I serve. People come over, family member, cousins and aunties, and I serve. I serve them. I'm not too proud to serve, but I serve my family. Because to serve outside of my family means that I'm treated less than I deserve. Because societally, we've come to treat people who are of service as like they're low, and of no importance. But I like the Germans, because the Germans, even the garbage collector in Germany has a sense of dignity, right? And he can say how he loves his job because he gets to go to work early and leave early. He's home by a certain time and he's happy because to him it's freedom. And he doesn't feel stigmatized, or he doesn't feel bad that he's picking up trash. Another thing I noticed about the Germans is their recycling and refuse, garbage, rubbish, how they sort everything. Everything is clean. Look, in my home, if I drink something or eat something that came out of a container from a factory, let's say I have a Guinness, a can of Guinness, or a bottle of Guinness, or I'm just using that as an example, or even a yogurt drink or something. Well, when I finish drink it, that's how my household is. We rinse. You see, there are some members of my family who are lowlives, and they fraternize with lowlives. So they'll have a drink and they'll just put it there, the bottle, when the bottle is empty. Usually there might even be some beer in the bottle. They don't care, but I do. That's why I rinse thoroughly the bottles, so we are not attracting fruit flies or other flies or ants or whatever else will want to crawl into, the empty container. Some people have a sense of ourselves. Some of us have a sense of ourselves. And we're elevated because it's a state of consciousness that many people lack. Many black people are not conscious. They're still sleeping. Fast asleep. That's why they're drinking, taking drugs, having sex. You think these people, most of them are having sex and they're not even sober, right? And then they discover, I'll take this with that, and, they get their rocks off. But they're not present. They're really not present. I've watched. I'm present. And because I'm present, it's an awareness. And I care. I care about this place where I live, where I was born. Am I not from here? Am I an alien? I love where I live. This earth, planet. I love it. But it seems like those of you with all the money in the world, you don't give a shit. You don't care. You gotta have the biggest yacht, the biggest private jets. You got the biggest everything because you don't have the biggest dick. And some of you are not even men. Some of you were born female. Some of you were born female. And you've been passing as male. You've been passing as men. You even marry so-called women. Some of you are women passing as men, and you married men passing as women. And you think that, oh, you are so brilliant. Aren't you brilliant? You fooled the whole world. No, we know. We receive the downloads. We get the messages. Many don't want to hear it. I have family members who don't want to hear me speak. Just like social media platforms don't want to hear me because they don't want me putting that information out there. That's why I'm always banned. I'm always blocked. I'm always under surveillance. Hello, motherfucker. How big is your penis? Oh, you don't have one. You don't even have a penis. But the whole world calls you a man. Your voice, you sound like Kermit the Frog. Anyway, thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, or not. It's all good. I'm Domina Della Pie, Mistress Sasha Storm, and we still want to know who the hell I saw the list, allegedly, of those who had been to Epstein Island. No, you keep trying to bury these stories and bury these stories like you try to bury us. Didn't know that we were weeds. You call us weeds, but we're herbs. Thank you. Good day.